when you open a vegetarian restaurant, we are in the future, but we must be in the future with everything. It has no sense to do a vegetarian with normal vegetables, because it is already in the past.
Pietro, we were thinking about how to match, how to put together high gastronomy, hot gastronomy, with vegetarian culinary. How did you do this?
So, I started to work when I was younger to very, very important restaurants in Europe, where we cooked a new style cuisine that it was nouvelle cuisine, where already nouvelle cuisine they had a thought about the quality of products, about the quantity, so they made smaller dishes with fresh products, so it was very, very interesting, and it was quite a revolution. But working there, I understood that anyway, this kind of cuisine, it was not really healthy, because when I was eating this cuisine, my stomach had some acidity and I felt heavy, and so I needed to do a reflection on this. And I started to read the book, to study about cuisine, but as well about vegetarian cuisine, but as well about medicine. And I understood that the direction of the future could be a more vegetarian diet. And so I lived to Asia, where I lived for 3 years, yeah, through Japan, China, and India. And there they have a very, very long vegetarian tradition.
Yeah, sure.
That means that they have knowledge about the health, but as well about gourmet cuisine.
Mm-hmm.
And because anyway, even if we cook vegetarian, of course, the cuisine must be gourmet. So I observe what they do, and I try coming back, and then I became as well vegetarian, to do a gourmet vegetarian cuisine. And the first thing to observe, it is that when we eat meat, the base of the pleasure, it is the taste of roasted meat, and that gives a lot of pleasure to the people. And the pleasure of vegetable, it is the taste. So, like in Orient, when we think about the taste, we think in fact about 5 tastes. That is sweet, sour, bitter, salty, and sharp. And every vegetables, but anything that compose the universe is made of one or of different taste. Mm-hmm. So the best way to do a gourmet cuisine in a vegetarian way, it is to understand the taste and then to play with the taste. In my cuisine, always I work minimum with 2 tastes, with 3 tastes or with 5 tastes all together, that make the dishes more interesting, much more interesting.
Flavored.
Yeah. Then another thing that is very important, I lived in Japan, and in Japan, for me, Japanese cuisine is one of the best of the world, and for them the aesthetic is very important as well. So when you see a Japanese dish, it's like a masterpiece, very, very beautiful. So I studied on aesthetic, because when we eat, we don't eat just with the mouth and
with
the taste,
with
but
all
also all the
senses.
senses.
Yeah, sure.
And so to have a very colorful dishes is very important. And what is very interesting that most of the color are in the vegetarian.
Sure,
area,
absolutely. What year did you open your Gioia restaurant in Milan?
I opened it 30 years ago in '89, and
It wasn't already vegetarian?
it was already vegetarian.
I see.
Yeah, because I was already vegetarian. But at the beginning, I had some fish inside in my menu. But then I was not eating fish, so it has no sense, because what I believe that we must cook what we feel to cook.
How did you know it was going to work? Even there in '89, wasn't it a big investment for a test?
But at the beginning, it was really very difficult, because even the people didn't know what was exactly a vegetarian person. So and also vegetarian cuisine, it was very, very different to anything any thought. But I opened already the restaurant because a part of the society with a medium-high cultural level, and also a medium-high possibility to have money, they were changing to a more vegetarian diet. But they wanted a gourmet vegetarian, because in the past, vegetarian food meaning borrowing food.
Yeah.
So very healthy but not tasteful. Very organic but difficult to eat. And those people don't want it, because they want the pleasure to enjoy the life and so. And so I could make a food for them, but what happens that in Italy we didn't have a vegetarian tradition, so I needed to invent a new tradition. And all the dishes that I prepare at Gioia are dishes that, as techniques but also as concept, are born in my conception.
And for the people who are going for the first time in a veggie restaurant, what vegetables do you think it's most likable to be processed in gourmet vegetarian? What kind of vegetables?
So, like in my restaurant, I follow always the seasons, and in the season we have more precious ingredients, and ingredients that are more popular, more simple. And like now, this season in spring, we have asparagus that are fantastic, but also all green sprouts. In summer, for me, the center of the pleasure on vegetarian cuisine are eggplant. That is very interesting work on eggplant world. And also in what I use a lot in my cuisine are mushroom, because mushrooms are very umami, we say. In Japanese, we say umami. Umami means a concentration of taste. And with mushroom, we can do a lot of pleasure to the people.
If you were to cook in Brazil, what would you use it?
I would use for sure avocado, because avocado, in some way, it is a vegetarian foie gras, because it's a little fat, very sweet, very
and very healthy too.
Very healthy as well. And then I would work with palmito, because the texture of palmito is very, very interesting. It's a little bit crunchy, and it is a base that you can work on it a lot.
What did you say, for us to finish, I don't want to take your time too much, but what did you say 2 tips, 2 hints for the guy who wants to build up a veggie restaurant.
So first, they should try almost for 3 months to be vegetarian, to understand the vegetarian philosophy, but also to change the mind, because the vegetarian thought and also the vegetarian cuisine, anyway, it's different because it's based on the taste, but also the balance of the diet is completely different, because on the base we have the vegetables, then we have carbohydrates like rice, pasta, and so then we have vegetal protein like beans and so. But just experimenting this, we can understand really how to do a very nice cuisine. And a second thing, it is to go directly to a very high level products, so organic products, because this type of ingredients are the future.
Sure.
So when you open a vegetarian restaurant, we are in the future, but we must be in the future with everything. It has no sense to do a vegetarian with normal vegetables, because it is already in the past. So a vegetarian cuisine, it is a projection in what food will be in next years.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
It was a pleasure. Foi prazer ter aqui o Pietro. Tem um restaurante chamado Joia, em Milão, que foi o primeiro restaurante a ganhar uma estrela Michelin, o primeiro restaurante vegetariano a ganhar uma estrela Michelin, e é uma joia europeia. Quem puder, por favor.
Thank you. Grazie.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.